Hey, let's get right to it. We don't have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of time, and we need to keep these short. I'm actually going to reference notes only because I generally do this in a sales training, sales coaching capacity and take 60 to 90 minutes and speak from the heart, but we don't have that much time, so I am going to reference notes. Um, I'm a business executive and sales coach and sales trainer, as I already mentioned, and what I'm going to share with you tonight is what I call the reality check. And here's why I developed this. I've grown frustrated over the years, despite all the great people out there that have come before me and that will come after me. A lot of inspirational, motivational sales trainers, sales coaches, people that are just absolutely dynamic. But the challenge that I've seen, where the gap is, there's never been a real focus on business to business relationship development. It's all about processes and techniques and strategies and different things that you can do, not necessarily to manipulate, but to drive people through a pipeline, if you will. And in my business, I've just never been comfortable with that. So I believe that the simple thing is this: we need to teach people, especially our young people, how to communicate. This is a relationship potentially. This is like a marriage. We've got to get to know each other, and moreover, we've got to figure out together if this is going to work, if we're going to be able to push value, meaningful value, well, not just to you as the future partner, but to the overall constituency. So let's go ahead and dive into this. And what I'd like you to do is take the time to take inventory of your existing pipeline of your future partners to see where you are. But moreover, this is going to allow you inside of a conversation, inside of a discovery process to really figure out where this is at and where this is going. So I ask you this: is your future partner curious, or do you have their attention? The thing about curiosity is it's socially, it's the nice thing to do. I'm going to express some curiosity. I may also garner some additional information out of you because you are the consultant as the third party that I otherwise wouldn't get. But curiosity is nothing more than that. It's not real interest. Do you have their attention? Next thing is this intrigue or is this a priority? I'll make this real simple for you. I live in Southwest Florida. If my wife calls me today, later today, okay, and says to me, baby, the air conditioner's not working at the house. Well, in July, it's 90, 95, sometimes it approaches 100 degrees. I'm going to say to my wife very simply, baby, do whatever you got to do, call whoever you got to call, and pay whatever you got to pay to get the air conditioner fixed. That's a priority, because anybody that's married knows that you don't want to go home and not have a working air conditioner when you crawl into bed with your wife at night. Intrigue, on the other hand, well, let's look around, let's kick the tire around, let's see if somebody's got a deal. Not necessarily a big deal, right? Which that might be something we do in January in a couple of different months. Next thing, is it an intellectual discussion, okay, or is it emotional? Simple way to figure that out is, are they sharing and expressing emotion to you through emotional words, through emotional experiences? Are you doing the same thing? Or is it an intellectual discussion? Well, we can pontificate all day long, but that's not going to help anybody. It's nothing more than a waste of time. Okay? All right, is this present tense, or are we now starting to talk about the future? How we're going to work together, how we're going to collaborate, how we're going to figure this out? Whatever the circumstance is, whatever the problem is, how are we going to work together? How are we going to push this forward? Here's a real simple one. Is your future partner speaking in first person and present tense, or are they starting to speak in third person and future tense? And by that I mean very simply, is this an I or a we discussion? Because when we start having a we discussion, now that's meaningful, because we are working together. We are trying to figure this out. We are going to figure this out. This is a good one. Are there intellectual flares, okay, or are they investable? And what that means very simply is, look, there's a lot of time associated with business to business sales. It's not just the time, energy, and effort that they've got to invest. There's going to be collateral resources. Generally, there's going to be other people involved in the C-suite, in the HR capacity, in purchasing, whatever the case may be. They're having to make a collateral investment. If they're ready to do that and they're open to do that, well, now we've got something to talk about. Are these latent discussions, meaning that these are things that happen, 60 days ago or 6 months ago or 18 months ago, and we're starting to learn to adapt and learn to live with it? So perhaps it's not that big of a deal. Or is it explicit? Is it explicit? Is this a problem that we're having to deal with, and it's not one that we can continue to live with? Okay, we're pushing through this because it's starting to cause heartburn, disruption in the business. It's pretty simple. Is your future partner unemotional, or are they expressive? Well, you got to be careful here because some people don't express emotion depending upon if they're kinesthetic, auditory, or visual. Okay, I won't get into that right now, but you can tell, you can figure this out if somebody's expressive. All right, is this I or me focused, or is this going to be collateral focused? And again, are we coming together? Are we going to work together to figure this out together? I'm bringing my people, you're bringing your people, so that we can get to the bottom of this. The next one is a lesson for both sides. And I'll talk to you about declarations and declarative statements in a future video, because if you're in sales, if you're in business to business sales, okay, and you're making declarations, declaring value props, etc., you need to stop doing it immediately. You need to stop doing it right away, because it's bad for you, it's bad for the future partners, it's bad for the overall marketplace. Okay? If your future partner is making declarative statements, that's a problem also. Because a statement is just that, it's nothing more than a statement. There's nothing genuine about that. Anybody can make a statement. If they're inquisitive, if they're getting involved, if they're emotional and expressive and asking questions and trying to gain an understanding of how this may work, if their curiosity is arisen, if their alertness, well, now it's starting to sound like perhaps we've got something to talk about. It's not that complicated. So take the time, do the inventory, go through your pipeline today. Look at where you're at inside of your process, okay? See if you're on the left side of the board or if you're moving to the right side of the board. And you need to cycle all of your future partners over to the right side. But here's the reality. If you're inside of business to business sales, you need to understand, acknowledge, and embrace this very simple fact. Not everybody is a prospect. In fact, most everybody is not a prospect. That's why you got to work your ass off. You got to take the time and make the commitment, invest the energy in your resources, which is your time, okay, and get down to understanding who fits inside of your ideal client profile. And again, if you're in business to business sales, most people don't. That's why this is important. We have to learn how to communicate. I'm Chris Tritt, business executive, sales coach, and sales trainer. I look forward to talking to you again.